What's going on, everyone? Chase for AXW here, and I am going to break down the whole new list of WWE releases in 2026. So this video, just a disclaimer, I am someone who has been a professional wrestler before. So, for all the wrestlers out there, if you're listening, you're going to do great, to the young guys, the NXT guys that got released, like go out and build a name for yourself. And there's a lot of people that I think are going to be perfectly fine from this as well. There's a lot of wrestling out there, but also I'm someone who understands the business from the business perspective. And you can't have all these NXT call-ups coming if you're not also making releases. And at the end of the day, TKO is a company, WWE is a company. This isn't the first time that they've done releases. It happens every single year. I feel like people are overreacting a little bit to these. But let's just get things started with the one that I do think is very shocking, is Kairi Sane. I think that that's the one that if any of these people have a chance of making it back pretty quickly, it would be Kairi. I mean, she's been in a feud and a storyline, with Asuka and Io Sky that never really had a payoff, and she was literally just on Monday Night Raw in a tag team matchup. It's a little disheartening because she is a really, really talented girl, and I think that she, could have had great matches with Sky, and honestly, if Asuka had stepped away from that storyline, it probably could have made her a star. But she's also going to be fine. I mean, she's one of the most talented women's wrestlers on the planet. In between her last exit and coming back to WWE, she had some of the best matches. So she can either go back to Japan, go to Stardom, go to AEW. I think she should go to AEW, to be honest. The AEW women's division is a little bit lacking right now with Toni Storm injured, and Mercedes hasn't been there in a while, and I don't know. That's a topic for another day, but I do think Kairi will be fine, and I do think that she has a decent chance of making it back. Now, another one that's very startling is Aleister Black, especially if you actually believe that Aleister Black was supposed to be involved in the main event of WrestleMania, which I don't really believe. I don't really buy it. That might just be internet hype, because if that was really the case, I don't see them actually releasing him. But he is a tale of the failure of WWE to push the black and gold era of NXT. And this is something that I really want to make a video on. Like, if you would like to hear my thoughts on this, please write that in the comment section, because they failed so many guys that could have been legitimate stars. And what I just don't understand, is they haven't been consistent with it, because all of the new call-ups in the last couple years from the new era of NXT have all been getting treated like gold and thrust into giant storylines and working with the best of the best. Like, where was a feud with Rollins for Aleister Black, that Braun Breaker's getting? Where was the Brock Lesnar main event that Obafemi's getting for Tommaso Ciampa? Not saying that needed to happen, but I'm just saying examples. Like, they're way more willing to push these new guys, and in my opinion, obviously Oba has the size, but he's also phenomenal. So I probably shouldn't have used him as the standpoint. But like Trick Williams, Javon, there were just guys that were just as talented as them that I feel like didn't really ever get the opportunity that they're getting. So I'm personally glad that now the young talent's getting pushed. Ethan Page just had a good debut. It looks like all the NXT girls that they just brought up this week are getting involved, but it seems like that black and gold era, for some reason, just like you look at everyone, Keith Lee never really got a great opportunity. Aleister Black never had a great opportunity. Tommaso Ciampa never did. And then when you release somebody and then they come back, they're just a shell of themselves. And basically this whole last run for Black, I've kind of been pessimistic throughout it, because I've been thinking that something like this was going to happen. Also Vega, she had a great run. She was the United States champion for a little bit. It's had a little entertaining bout with Chelsea Green. Sad to see her go, but like I said, they just called up they're calling up 6 NXT women over the next 2 weeks. So for one to go, I just think it was inevitable. So Next is going to be a controversial take, and it is that the Wyatt Six are gone. At the end of the day, we have to be realistic. That is 6 people that you're paying, all of whom were previously released at some point by the company in the first place and then returned. I think that when Triple H took over fully, he wanted to show off, like, hey, like, I'm being respectful to a lot of these wrestlers. And they did, you know, they had a very impactful debut. But then they were just in a pointless feud for 6 months. And that's the problem of the tag team division, which is something that, you know, needs to be fixed. Like, I think TNA is a great tag team division that's WWE owned, adjacent. AAA has an amazing tag team division. Like, I'm really excited about, you know, the Psycho Clown and Pagano feud with the War Raiders. It's awesome. There's teams that are out there. They're just not being used. And the Wyatt Six were another example of that as well. And now SmackDown doesn't really have much of a tag team division. But at the end of the day, Bo Dallas was not Bray Wyatt. I don't know what people thought. Like, if they thought that just because he was, you know, going to start acting like Bray, he was going to get thrust in the main event scene. I didn't see it happening, and you know, it's hard to do storylines with a mystical character, especially in today's state of wrestling. So I don't think that is that terrible of a loss that they're gone. Obviously feel bad for them, but I think it does make a little bit of sense. And this is something that I don't think is a TKO thing. I just think that it happens. Now, here's 3 names that I think are actually going to be fine. I think they're going to find amazing success in AEW, or if they go back to TNA. The first is Apollo Crews. He's someone who has been one of the most consistent wrestlers. I mean, he's been carrying main event for the last couple years. Crews is someone who, like, if you look back, you could be like, oh, he was a failure, but not really. He had a couple WrestleMania matches. He was the United States champion. Like, you got to think, not everyone can be the top star. And I think Apollo Crews did have a better career in WWE than a lot of people are really giving him credit for and giving the WWE credit for. Alba Fire is another one. Like I said, that AEW women's division needs talent. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She's someone who I don't think would have ever succeeded in the WWE, to be completely honest, because she relies on her in-ring ability and less on her gimmick. So I think that she's going to be awesome. And she got to have that good moment at Clash in Italy as well. So it's not like she had a failed career. The Motor City Machine Guns, they're obviously going to be fine. They're immortal. They've been one of the mainstays in wrestling, one of my all-time favorite tag teams. I'm bummed to see them go. I would have really liked to see a lot more from them in the WWE, to be honest. I feel like they could have had an amazing reign. And it would have been really cool to see, like, if the Hardys came back, maybe like a SummerSlam match between them and the Guns. It would have just been cool. Usos, Guns, Hardys. It could have been a TLC remake. NXT releases, there were a couple. Andre Trace, Malik Blade, Dante Chen. I actually like Chen. Luca Cristino, Trill London, Tyreek, and Tyson DuPont. All these guys, they just needed to happen. None of them were that great. You know, they're guys that never really on the indies. So they get the opportunity now to understand what it's like to actually be a pro wrestler. I'm someone who's very pro-independent wrestling. I mean, obviously, if I just said, you know, I feel like the black and gold era kind of got slighted a little bit. But I think it's good if they go cut their teeth and then learn what it's like to be a real professional wrestler. And then if they actually make something of themselves to where they're undeniable, they can come back to WWE as bigger stars. Another kind of shocker is Zoey Stark, someone that they invested a lot in early. I mean, you don't do a storyline with Trish Stratus if you're not getting invested in. So that one's a little shocking. And then my final surprise, the last name, someone who I'm really shocked at because of the fact that they have the AAA deal, is Santos Escobar. You know, we got rid of Andrade. They had the feud. So it just seems a little weird to get rid of 2, like, ginormous names in Mexican wrestling, especially after you just purchased AAA, which is a product that I absolutely love. So that one kind of bums me out a little bit. Like, that's one that I think, like, granted, I preferred Andrade to Santos. So I was mad when Andrade was gone, but then I was, like, gaining more momentum and liking Santos more. I liked what he did in AAA. I feel like he was a legitimate name to have in AAA as well. But, yeah, so pretty bummed that he's gone. Like I said, I think I need to make a video addressing the failure of the black and gold era and just I'm happy that they're investing in the young guys now. It's just like, why didn't you then? And a lot of these people on this list are former NXT champions. I mean, even Bo Dallas was as well. So just a lot of guys not getting invested in. But I want to know what you guys think, though. Write in the comment section below. Like this video and subscribe for more. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.